5 for 1920s to 1940s, Lesson 4A. The essential question for 5-4.4 is, what were the principal events related to the involvement of the United States in World War II? Basically, this is just asking what were the events that led to the U.S. involvement in World War, and what were the important battles, the objectives. By the end of this video, you should be able to explain the meaning of the word dictators, describe the events leading into the European leaders' involvement of World War II, and explain why Germany started World War II. The rise of European dictators, the first paragraph. The United States became involved in World War II as a result of the rise of European dictators. And dictators just means a ruler who has complete control of the whole country. Benito Mussolini in Italy and Adolf Hitler in Germany. They were dictators and used military aggression, which just means that they used the military to take land by force. So they used military aggression against the rest of Europe to secure their goals. Although Joseph Stalin, who was also a dictator, and you might remember him, he's the ruler of the USSR, was also a dictator, he conflicted with Hitler. The Japanese also had a militaristic government, which means that their government was based around their army, and the Japanese were seeking to expand its nation's power. Dictators in Germany, Italy, and Japan formed an alliance called the Axis Power. So you do need to know that the Axis powers were Germany, Italy, and Japan. Dictators Benito Mussolini, Adolf Hitler, and Hideko Tojo used military aggression against the rest of Europe and formed the Tripartite Pact between Japan, Germany, and Italy, which is also called the Axis Power. The Rise of European Dictators, Part 2. At first, the European leaders tried to avoid war and responded to the aggression of Hitler's Germany with the policy of appeasement, giving in to his demands. Remember, that's when they were like, what you're doing is wrong, but don't do it again, and we'll let it slide. However, when Germany invaded Poland, and allied Britain and France declared war on Germany. So this basically means that once Germany invaded Poland, it started the war with Britain and France and Germany. Soon, Germany had defeated France, was constantly bombing Great Britain in an effort to break the spirit of the last undefeated European country. This continuous filling air raid was known as the Battle of Britain, and you need to know the Battle of Britain. It's a pretty important battle, which means that Germany just kept air raiding them with bombs, and they were significant because they were the first instance in which Hitler's plans of conquest were foiled. Foiled just means that it was looked upon as bad, which basically means that when he was continually bombing Britain, everybody thought that that was too much and he had gone too far. Recap. European leaders tried to stay out of World War II. However, when Germany invaded Poland, France and Britain allied to stop them. France was defeated and Germany was continuously bombing Britain, which is the Battle of Britain. The Rise of European Dictators, Part 3. Germany also invaded the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, which is Stalin, or the USSR. The Congress of the United States had passed laws that required President Roosevelt to maintain an official policy of neutrality, which means staying out of the war. However, President Roosevelt tried to keep the British leader, Winston Churchill, and the leader of the Free French, Charles de Gaulle, and the leader of the Soviet Union, Joseph Stalin, with supplies. Adolf Hitler believed that the German people were a superior race. That's one reason why he wanted to begin World War I. He and many of the German people thought that the treaty, which was the Treaty of Versailles, that had ended World War I, was unfair, and the economic sanctions placed on Germany after World War I were unrealistic and extremely punitive, which means that there was a lot of money they had to pay. Because they thought it was unrealistic and punitive, that's another reason why they wanted to start World War II. Hitler's goal was for Germany to avenge itself for this treaty by taking over the rest of Europe, if not the world, which is also a reason. With established of extreme nationalism, which means that it's an extreme patriotism, like thinking that your country is better than anybody, Hitler was able to use his influence to successfully invade other areas of Europe through the use of this new technology. Recap. While Germany invaded the USSR, America stayed neutral, even though they provided Britain and the USSR with supplies. Germany thought that the Treaty of Versailles was unfair and had caused the economic fall in Germany. Through nationalism, Germany avenged itself by trying to take over all of Europe.